Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, the host of the N.A.R.C.N Network and channel, and also the host of the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. Today I'm going to be presenting to you guys episode 177, and the title of episode 177 is The Narcissist Isn't Getting It Off You Anymore. Now, the particular title of this episode really denotes, of course, what's going to be in it and what we're going to be talking about, and that is the factor that once you get to a certain place with the narcissist, when you're not really engaging with them anymore and you're not really dealing with them in whatever ways it is that you have to, one of the things that starts happening with the narcissist is that they're not really attaining that fuel off of you that they used to. They're not getting that fuel, they're not getting that attention, they're not getting all those things that they used to get off you before. And when this is going on with the narcissist, well, of course, what happens with the narcissist? Well, they usually become frustrated, they usually become harder to deal with, they usually start to act out, they usually start to show you a bunch of different things that can possibly denote what the narcissist is really going through. And of course, we've covered on the N.A.R.C.N network before some of the things that the narcissist may be going through when they are not really engaging with you anymore, or more particularly when you're actually not engaging with them anymore in the same manner. So when they're not getting this attention off you anymore, they start to behave, or can start to behave, very strangely. Some narcissists will completely back away from you and leave you alone. They won't give you any attention, they won't communicate with you. It's almost like they disappeared or ghosted you completely. Some narcissists will do this. Some narcissists will try harder because they need that fuel, or because you are a very good source of fuel. So they will attempt to possibly try to put more effort into communicating with you or trying to interact with you in some particular way, because they need that fuel off you. That usually is a good indicator to you that you are a very good fuel source to that narcissist, and that if they envision losing you as a fuel source, that may be a very problematic element for them, and this is why they're trying harder to actually interact with you and to try to get some of what they need out of you in that way. It can also indicate that that narcissist doesn't have any other current fuel sources that are good or available to them, or that they just can't get that source of fuel in their life right now from other individuals because of certain circumstances that are going on with them. It's very rare that a narcissist doesn't have another fuel source, at least one, if not many. But again, it can indicate that this narcissist really either requires that fuel off you because you're a very good fuel source giver or attention giver, or it's just not available to them in other particular ways, and that's why they're pushing a little bit harder. But the one thing you can be rest assured for sure is going on with a narcissist is that once you start to cut down your interaction with them, or you cut them off completely, but this is more of an instance we're talking about of when you're limiting that available fuel to the narcissist, they're going to start behaving adversely. You're going to start seeing some strange things out of them. You're going to start seeing some strange behaviors, and they can go either way. They can go in the direction of more attention from them. They can go in the direction of them ghosting you completely, depending on what you're doing. I have found that in my research that higher level narcissists that we've talked about on the network before, if you are putting them in a situation where you're really limiting fuel to them, but you haven't cut them off completely, higher level narcissists will try to draw you back in some way to try to get that fuel off you in a more readily supplied manner. But they will only do that for a limited amount of time, and if you don't show the interaction with them or don't give them back the attention or fuel that they need, they will immediately back away and almost put you into a completely ghosted situation where they don't deal with you anymore because you're not giving them what they want. Mid-levels and lowers, sometimes just they don't have as great a control of their emotional states, and often when you're not giving them what they want or giving them the fuel that they want, they basically take a hissy fit and they kind of fuck off and you don't hear from them again. immediately at that point, or they just remove themselves, or they limit themselves with you, and they try to go get that fuel from some other particular source. But either way, when the narcissist is not really getting this attention off you, excuse me, they're going to act out or act up in some particular way that's going to give you an indicator that they're dealing with some stress in their life, because you have shut them down or shut them off, or just put them in some type of position where they're not able to attain the same things that they need off of you. This will give you indicators as to what the narcissist is going through. There are some narcissistic experts on the internet, as well as the content I have available on the N.A.R.C.N channel, that tells you some of the more intense things that the narcissist might be going through behaviorally. You can look them up on my channel. They're usually, the idea of what's going on is usually in the title of the video. It'll give you an indicator as to what the narcissist behavior might be during certain periods of whatever it is that they're going through. But in this instance, when you have put them in a limited contact situation, generally what's usually going on with them is that they're sometimes having a panic attack. They're having a panic attack because they're going to lose that connection that they have with you, or lose that appliance, or lose connection with that appliance, and they need that fuel off you desperately. They need lots of fuel. Narcissists require lots of fuel from different sources, and this doesn't even matter if you are really an amazingly good source of fuel and attention to that narcissist. You can be an amazing source of attention and fuel for this narcissist, but that's not enough. That's not enough. They need to have multiple sources of fuel. This is what they require because they are so attention hungry, and they require so much fuel in their life to keep their minds from being in places that they don't want their minds to be going to. And we've talked about this as well in other N.A.R.C.N videos, the mind state of the narcissist and why they're like this, why they require so much attention, and why this is the factor that they require so much attention is due to the way that they have developed, the way that their brains have developed when they've been younger, and in adolescence, and sometimes in adulthood as well. Their minds function in a state where they just require massive amounts of attention all the time to actually control or quell the other things that they have going on in their mind that they do not have a good deal of control over. And again, we've talked about this in prior N.A.R.C.N videos. We've talked about the flawed mental state. We've talked about the functional mental state of narcissists and how their brains work and what's going on with their minds. You guys can look that up on the channel here if you want more information on this particular point that we're talking about here right now in this video. But these are the basic ideas I wanted to talk to you guys about here in episode 177. Just why the narcissist isn't getting off you what they want or what they require anymore. You're just simply not giving it to them, and it's going to present these types of behaviors out of them to watch out for. Keep an eye out for these behaviors. These will indicate to you how severely your narcissist is actually taking whatever you're doing to them. It'll give you an indicator too, possibly as to how much power you may have over that narcissist. Lots of narcissistic victims think they don't really have any power because this narcissist is in control of everything. And of course the narcissist thinks they're in control of everything that's going on as well too, but the reality is they're just in control of themselves. The second you take away their attention, the second you take away the ability for them to mess with you like this, they don't have any ground to stand on, and they don't know what to do with this, and they panic because they live in a very fragile emotional state most of the time, in a very fragile mental state. And you don't really know about this unless you've studied narcissism, or unless you've studied things off of my channel or other channels out there. You don't know how fragile the narcissist mind actually is. But you can control a narcissist very easily if you know exactly what to do, and you can definitely control things with yourself if you take the initiative and the right steps to do that. And this will help you to deal with any narcissist that you're dealing with in your life in a positive way, and will help to better your life and your conditions that you're living in with a narcissist here as well. So this has been episode 177, and just to say, like to say to you guys, please stay tuned. I got lots of new content coming up on the network and also on the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you really soon.